Hello, hello. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor. He writes out all of my scriptures. He brings all of my medicine in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor. He writes out all of my scriptures. He brings all of my medicine in the room. Come on in and join. Share this out before we get started. Good. Thank you so much for the rose. I appreciate it. Tap the screen, share the live. Listen, before we get started, good. Get some people in to say hello, to be a part of this conversation. As you know, Cedric and I do this marriage stuff together. He is on his way back, but we got started at the same time so we can be consistent. Amen. Looks like the church. Amen. Amen. Come on in and say hello when you get here. Let me know you're here. Come on, come on. Let me know when you have joined our live. Say hello, hello. Come on in the room. Listen, happy Thursday. How'd your Thursday go? How was your Thursday? Did you feel productive? I know there's a nasty cold that's going around that has people sick. I mean, sick, sick. And actually, it's more, it zaps your energy. And so I know that this particular cold is doing some strange things to people. We're going to have a marriage talk tonight, or a relationship talk, marriage talk. I'm waiting on my husband to come back, but we're going to get started. We're talking a bit about relationship, but in a relationship, you do have two people, but what happens is you have to bring a complete and whole version of yourself to the relationship. So often we follow the movie Tom Cruise, You Complete Me. And no, nobody completes you except for Jesus. So if you are struggling, sometimes we think, well, I know I did in the past. I'm gonna put it on me because I don't want anybody to say I'm, saying something for them. But we often will say that when you get with this person, it'll make you better or make you whole. And that's not really how this works. When you get with somebody, it will not make you whole. You have to work on you. So when you come in, tap the screen. If you're on TikTok, share the live. Cedric is coming and joining. But he went to go, look, today was not my dinner night. So he went to go grab something. But I want to talk about being a better version of yourself. What work do you put in for yourself? Come in and say hello. So, we often hear people talk about, we love the movies. We love the romantic titles. You complete me, you're this, you're that. But the truth is that, we got to do the work for ourselves. And if you're not willing to do the work for yourself, then that's where we run into problems at. So, truth be told, we have some work to do on our own for ourselves. Nobody else can do it. And I know we like to believe that somebody else can do it for us, or they can, it's somebody else's fault that we're the reason that we are. That's not true. We're the reason we are because of our choices and the choices we made, the work we did or did not do. And I know that is not a popular opinion, but choices play a big part into who you are and where you are right now in your life. So, just to talk a little bit about myself. I know when I met Cedric, I did a lot of we were not, I don't think we were in a place where we should have gotten married at that time. But what happened was I believe that, we can conquer love together. Love will conquer all. We can make it. And don't get me wrong, we can get through things together. But there's a part of work that we needed to do ourselves that I did not account for, that I did not understand, and that we needed God's help in order to do the work, to be better. And so, the frustrating part is that I know now our anniversary is next week, and we didn't make it to 20 plus years without doing some work. But there's some work that we should have done prior to getting married. And that's the part that we don't talk about. People don't talk about, like, doing the work. And so, just want to talk about this whole marriage thing, relationship thing, working on ourselves. Yeah, you can bring it over here. Working on ourselves, doing the best for us. We just don't do it, y'all. And I really want to talk about, because I know I had to do the work for myself. Like, as much as I want to say Cedric didn't do this or Cedric didn't do that, he could not complete me, like the movie said. As much as that sounds good, don't it, babe? But I just did I'm sorry, we talked about a few things. But and if you're here, say hello to me. Let me know you're here, that you're watching. Hush, Sean. But here's the thing: when you realize that, when you realize that there's no magic wand that makes your marriage great, there is no particular thing that you just do and everything is easy. And I don't know if you saw the video. Well, it's on my other page. I am Angela Faith, but it says that the Bible tells you in this life you will have trouble. You can bet on it. And so that includes your marriage. It's going to be times your marriage seems like it is failing and that you have failed, that you are not a good wife, you're not a good husband. And sometimes we're not. I know we don't like to hear that we're not always a good husband or wife. We want to think that our husband or wife is just amazing, and we're the only ones that well, the problem is everybody else but us. But a lot of the times we got to work on ourselves. Thank you so much for the hearts. That we got to work on ourselves, and it's frustrating when you get people that, like Cedric and I help couples all the time, and when they're always like, fix them. And it's funny because that was my mentality when we went to marriage counseling in the first 5 years of our marriage. I was like, fix him. I felt like, because my parents have been married for 23 years and I know what marriage looks like. And I know that it was Cedric that needed to be fixed. But it wasn't Cedric. It was me. That song says, it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. I couldn't put that on Cedric. I had to fix me. I was raggedy. Let's just say it like that. I was raggedy. I had a lot of mouth. I had a lot of stuff to say about what Cedric did and didn't do, why he said it, why he didn't say it. Like, I had so much to say about Cedric, and I did not realize that it was me. See, when the change came in our marriage, when I worked on me, when I started to work on being a better version of me, then there was a shift that happened with Cedric and I. But if you don't work on you, well, all you're gonna get is problems, and because you're gonna be blaming the other person. You're not gonna get in the shot at all, huh?
Watch me eat. I don't even label these.
Lord.
I'm here. I talk to you. What's up? What you want to know? I'm here to school you.
Well, I just put it at the title as and being are you let me say how I said it. Are you working on be a better version of you? So as a better wife, as a better husband, are you, because we tend to think that like Cedric and I said, our anniversary is next week, 20 plus years of marriage. I mean, I love my husband more now than I loved him when we got married originally. So love is not the issue.
You love me real good then.
You heard him? He told me, you sure? Because you was loving me real good then. Yeah, I was loving you real good then, but here go the problem. Some stuff that aches and pains and can't do all the stuff you used to do. So here's the thing. I want you to understand that maybe you're knocking my stuff.
I'm sorry, babe. I'm trying to move it.
In marriage, I'm sorry, y'all.
This is Mars here.
In marriage, there are going to be ups and downs, but you have to be committed to the process. The process includes you getting your life together.
Right.
The process includes
continual work.
You gotta be in the camera sometime, babe. I know.
I'm coming in the camera. Can I put something in my mouth? God damn. Not that.
I was putting my finger. He didn't want my finger. So the thing about it is that I want to hear from y'all. Y'all, talk. Let me know how did you come into your marriage or your relationship with a preconceived idea that you have it all together, that your marriage is perfect, or did you realize that you were flawed? Because I guess because my parents have been married for so long, I just assumed that I knew what it took to be married. But oh, baby, when you go to base that thing off the word of God, you will see that Bible is here, you down the street somewhere, around the corner in another state. Because we're in this Western society, and it's so far from what the word of God says about marriage, even about Christianity, honestly. Everything now is there a good person, but the Bible don't tell you you're not gonna go to heaven being a good person. And as long as, like I said, we're this is our celebration, coming up to our celebration week for our anniversary. And my thing is, am I still investing in my marriage? And by investing in myself, me being a better version of myself, that will tell me if I'm investing in my marriage. Because people don't like to, people don't like that to work on themselves. It's easier to say it is Cedric's fault while we're like this. I actually ran into a guy I used to work with years ago in the store a couple days ago, and he's been married for 37 years. And he said, I don't know if he's gonna be married much longer, Miss Thomas.
Really?
And he was like, it's just hard. It's just hard. And here's the thing. If truth be told, the older you get, the harder it is to get married or stay married to somebody. Everybody set in their ways. Right. When I say everybody set in their ways, everybody know everything. Everybody think they're right. So when you get set in your ways, it is very difficult to get somebody to see that they may be on the wrong side of the street.
Right. If you have an error in your judgment.
Right. And so I get that everybody doesn't understand how important it is to work on you. And I'm saying this because, hey, honey, you got good news. What's your good news, girl? I understand that like I said, we take it for granted that people. So one day a girl told me, y'all act like y'all older people. I guess I'm not in the y'all older people category. Love to use that y'all been married for a long time as a flex. And the first thing I said to her was, it is. Do you know how many people have big, lavish, beautiful weddings and they married for 5 minutes? They don't make it to 6 months. They don't make it to 4 months. So when I tell you it is a flex, first of all, it's a flex that we say married, because even if the marriage is not in the best condition, there's still hope if we're still married. See, y'all jump off the diving board on the concrete. Look, y'all hard times coming, y'all relationship, y'all just dump off the diving board and be like, oh, ain't no water in this pool. Business pro, what's going on? And so I know that people don't understand that it really, really, really takes God to sustain a marriage. Because, baby, it's going to be days you don't like him or her. It's going to be days you wish they would jump off all the curves. For real. Real hard. Yeah, baby?
Huh? Yes. There will be days.
He have his stuff in his face, y'all, so he ain't studying y'all. I'm sorry.
Listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's right. There will be days. So make sure y'all hang in there. Do something.
What's the important part of work? What did you find you had to work on? Or when did you realize you needed to work on yourself?
Ooh. I don't know. That's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, because when we come to the marriage, I figured that you would just be happy that you married to me.
Did y'all hear him? He said he figured I would just be happy that I was married to him. Yeah. Business Pro, don't start laughing this nut.
He is I and I am him.
Well, and it's a funny thing. He's saying in a joking way, but that is an honest, I believe that's an honest statement because he was, like he was a man, always top of his class in school, always a top athlete in high school and college. He played professional ball. So he was always the man. So I'm sure, and here's the thing now, a woman that already has children and I'm marrying her, you should be happy that you are in my presence.
Exactly.
And here's the other side, right? I was always her. So I was like, N-word, I could have chose anybody. But I chose you. So that is part of the problem that we had. That was part of the problem that we had is that we both felt like it was a privilege for you to be married to me. Like, so that didn't require any work on our behalf.
Correct.
But marriage takes work on there's no perfect person. Trust when I tell you.
And that's the thing. People think that you have to be cheating or abusing your spouse, or you don't. That only thing that you need to break up a marriage is not do anything.
Listen, they did a study about babies in the hospital. 2 babies were born. One they held and fed, and that baby thrived. The other one they fed,
but no physical touch.
Right. That baby passed away. And here's the thing: you have to love and nurture your marriage like it's a child. In the beginning, y'all gonna need them bottles. Y'all gonna need some formula. Y'all might need some breastfeeding. You're gonna definitely need some breastfeeding if you're gonna stay married. I'm gonna say that part. But y'all need some breastfeeding. Y'all need some love and some nurturing. You need some stuff you do for babies.
Right. Everything.
Stuff. Your diapers stink at that point. So, how about this? Hush, Business Pro. In the beginning, when you have a baby, the baby's poop don't stink like the first couple of days, but then it starts to hit a horrible, the honeymoon phase, a horrible place. Right. And when it hits that horrible place, then you like, wait a minute.
Right. This ain't it.
This ain't what I signed up for. But you got to realize that just like anything else, now you have children that are adults, that's successful, that, if you don't take care of it and nurture it, it will not become a successful adult or become an adult. Right. It won't grow. It won't develop. It won't evolve. Let me see what Business Pro said. So actually, Mila says, I look at marriage as beautiful thing to college. Lord Jesus. Business Pro say level setting those expectations is key.
Right.
Wait, right. So here's the thing, Business Pro, I want to say about expectations. Funny thing is that we all have expectations, right? But no one tells the other person their clear expectations. Right. So you're expecting somebody to fulfill your expectations that you haven't told them what it was. Right. So how you expect me to fulfill your expectations when you don't tell me what it is? And then now you want me to be a part of Miss Cleo. Calm me down.
But again, are your expectations even realistic? Was another thing.
Wait, don't put it in. Finish your statement. What does that mean?
That's it.
I was saying no. So what does that mean, baby?
That's just like if you want me to go to work 60 hours a week and then be with you 60 hours a week. It's not enough time in day to do both.
So now, hey Bianca. So now we have somebody said something about dating. Hey Justin. So here's the thing. You're right. Cedric was saying sometimes we want like now, women will say, I want all this fancy stuff. I want all this money. And they want the man to work a lot. So he's working 60 hours, right? To make all this money. But then you want him to spend 60 hours with you. He can't spend that kind of time at the job and that kind of time with you. Right. So Sometimes, and now if he got a job to just make that money like that, that's fine. But the average guy, even big business corporate people, they got to be on the move. They got stuff to do.
Right.
And if you are not allowing him, I don't know how to word that.
You can't have it both ways. I mean, it is what it is. Something got to sacrifice.
Mila said, "This is not love or sacrifice." Right. So here's the thing, right? You all right, please?
Yes.
I'm having a show by myself with a sidekick on the side.
I've been talking the whole time. What you saying?
Anyway,
You might eat.
I do, honey, but Business Pro said, I call it a trade-off. Right. So, but what do you say to a woman that demands all this lavish thing, nice things, big things, wonderful things, extravagant things that require a lot more hours of work, which a lot of times the men don't mind working to get for her, but they don't have time. I ain't even finished Justin talking about buy, right? But they don't have time to invest in, you.
Right.
Because you gotta nurture it. Right, Justin. Go find someone else. Look, y'all all saying the right thing. Go find someone else, buy. But so often you see, and men don't talk about it. Let's just talk about this. Men don't talk about this. Men don't say, I'm overwhelmed because I want to give you the things you want, but I can't do that without working as much as I do.
But even what if too? Even if I'm not overwhelmed, but every time I come home from work, I'm tired. I made the money, and you got some controversy going on. You know what I'm saying? There's no peace in my home. So then, what do I do then?
LaShawna says she needs to be contributing to those goals as a couple, right? And so part of the problem is a lot of times the women now don't feel like they need to contribute. Right. That's the first thing. Okay, they don't feel like they have to contribute anything to the relationship, and if that's what y'all have set up, if y'all set up that he's financially one that's going to do everything, that's your business. But what the problem I have is that you can't give him grief about the amount of time he's spending or not spending with you if you are not making it fair. He can't spend, you can't spend 60 hours at work, 60 hours with you and have no sleep. You're not going to have a husband or wife for long. Or I mean, not wife, a husband for long. Facts, right? It says, when you and me were talking, I saw my selfishness. Oh, okay. Okay, I hear you. Give me a second, Mia. We haven't opened up to guests, but we will in a minute. Now that I got my sidekick here, who he done stuffed his face.
Oh yeah, you gotta do it.
So, what do you have to say about this? I mean, I don't know. I've talked about working on myself and the thing of marriage, but when you have a partner that has unrealistic expectations,
right?
How do you handle that?
But even just forget about the partner for a second. If you think that everything you do is right,
it's okay. Please leave it. Then
you're not going to try to work on yourself because you think you already arrived.
What? So I'm talking about what do you do if just say if it was me, you know what I'm saying? If I am demanding too much of you, not what you're supposed to do, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I don't know. That's tough. Because what if you're in a situation where your significant other is not open to constructive criticism? Because those are situations too where if you say anything negative, then it just goes down a rabbit hole from there. So how do you clearly articulate that at that point if they're not open to it? I mean, it's I don't know, it's tough.
All right. Business said there's value in cooperation and companionship. Amelia says compromise. And then Business, that's right. Self-awareness is a key attribute. Right. And so here's the thing. That's why I said what I said earlier about working on yourself, because oftentimes, and not, I mean, I use me, that I was too busy saying that Cedric needed to work. Okay. When we went to counsel, I was like, it's all him, fix him. I really, and I meant that, fix him. But how naive was I to think that he was the only part of the problem?
Yeah.
I mean, and we're naturally selfish people. We're born that way.
Right.
We're born to think about ourselves. We're born to think about what we do, and and everything about us. That's who we naturally are. However,
putting your spouse first is a conscious choice.
So when we tell people that my job, my role is to be a servant to my spouse, right? I'm not talking about man to woman. We're talking about our role as spouses to be a servant to one another. That seems to strike a chord or a nerve sometimes. Why do you think that is?
Well, because in our society, that term has negative connotations.
Well, I don't know of any society that servants has ever been good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, there are societies. It's not ours.
I'm saying in our, well, okay. So in our society, I don't know that there's ever a time that saying that you are a servant is good.
No, I'm saying it was, because that means that you were concerned about somebody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But even, like I say, now they have, we talked about this before, how words are being changed to mean different things.
Hey, Tia. Right. So when we tell people to be, hey, Dr. Courageous, when you tell people that I'm a servant to my spouse, and first I have to say we're servants to each other. Now, submission is different. Right. So I'm going to say, so when we say we serve our spouse, I'm always looking for ways to make Cedric's life easier. How can I help? Can I be a piece to him? Can I contribute to him anyway? Is there things that I can do to help him? And he does the same thing for me. Right. Now, that wasn't in the beginning, but it's something about when he knows that I'm all in. The stuff that I was praying for him to change about, I told y'all he needed to fix, that we went to counseling that he needed to fix. Right. When I started to realize that I got to do what God told me to do as a wife, regardless, then he started to shift, because he knew that I was all in with my heart, and it wasn't a selfish place that it was coming from. Let me see what I got. Some comments over here. So, all right. So this says many of people turn into a very negative action. Right. When did a conference and introduce myself as servant leader, them jokers lost their mind. What is what? Okay, I'm asking.
She said, when I did a conference and introduced myself as a servant leader.
Listen, I'm sorry, child. Listen. Now, Dr. Courageous, that's what I want to hear about. Because if you introduce yourself, and because I said one day in a live, and I was like, in marriage, you're a servant to your spouse. I was like, I serve my husband. They were like, what? And I was like, he said, what you mean? Servant? I ain't no slave. Like, they went.
But you see what they did there? They said, I ain't no servant, I ain't no slave. Those are two different words.
So, okay, right. Look, Doctor, I know they did. So when you said, this is the thing. When our marriage really shifted, first of all, was when I said, God, I'm going to do what you have me to do regardless. So it's not based upon what somebody else is doing. So my love, my devotion as a wife had nothing to do with Cedric. But when I started to do what God told me to do and love him the right way, he in turn loved me back the right way. And if I would have had to tell you what it was, I couldn't have expressed it verbally, but you did it, because it was she's doing herself for me, so how can I please her type of a deal. Like, I don't know how to describe, so that's different. People have to realize their conviction isn't others. it's a shame that some people equate servant to slave. Right. Now let's look. You get your phone?
Yeah.
Let's look up the difference between servant and slave. And it may be that we have to go to the Bible, like one of the words, but just see what servant is and what slave is. And you're right, Paul. The thing about it is that, and here's the other thing: when you talk about marriage and godly marriage, whenever you say something about marriage, people automatically go to, well, I know somebody who they served their husband and he mistreated them. Let me read.
A person this is servant, by the way. A person who performs duties for others, especially a person employed in a house on domestic duties or as a personal attendant. A person employed in the service of the government,
right here,
a devoted and helpful follower or supporter.
So this one says a devoted and helpful follower or supporter. Right. I think that's when we say servant and serve, a devoted and helpful follower or supporter. You're supposed to support your spouse.
But you see what the words they have that are similar to that is helper, supporter, and follower.
Okay, so look, the words that are similar: helper, supporter, and follower. And this right here said attendant. I want to be an attendant for my husband. Right. The time that he ended up in ICU and almost didn't make it, it was because I was attentive. I was messing words tonight. Y'all pray for me, I'm tired. I was attentive to him, and I saw a difference in his breathing pattern and what was going on. If you're not attentive to your spouse, that's how they can have a whole nother life. Don't knock nothing down, please. A whole nother life, things going on, and you don't even know. Okay, let's go back up. I saw some comments. A slave is held captive. Right, Justin. I forgot about it. What are you going to read?
Slave.
Go ahead.
Slave.
Huh?
Go ahead.
A person who is forced to work for and obey another and is considered to be their property, an enslaved person.
Hold on, but he said forced to. Right. You're not forced to do anything. But I would hope that when you take those vows, for better or for worse, and in sickness and in health, I want to be your partner. We're a team. We're Team Thomas over here.
Second definition is a device or part of one directly controlled by another. And the verb is to work excessively hard, or a device to control by another.
All right, it says a servant attends by their own choice. Correct. Right. See, Tia, you in line with this definition. That's right. LaShawna said, me too. Slave is not an option. Right. Here's the thing. When you're a slave, you're forced. When you get married, you say I do. You're making a choice. Now, the problem I have is that when people get married and say I do, they start putting in their own addendums and what. Turn that fan on when you go over there, please. When addendum and what it means to what you're saying I do too. Now it's like I do to this, but I ain't doing all that. Well, I do to this, but I like how you gonna have your own set of rules? Like it is what it is. LaShawna says, I have a different description of slave when it comes to my husband, if you get what I mean. LaShawna,
watch it.
LaShawna, you out of control.
This is a PG.
No, it ain't. But that's the thing. Like I don't let other Lisa. Hey, boo. Flight attendant. Flight Black Love boy.
Oh, what's up?
Look, he's about, he ain't never on here, so he don't know names.
No, but I see that. Yes.
So listen, a slave is forced. A servant is a choice. Right. And when you're serving somebody, like if somebody come to my house, I am. No, I ain't forgot about you, girl. He don't know nobody on TikTok, so don't worry about it. So when you come to my house, I fix your drink, I fix your plate. I'm like, can I get anything for you? I'm that person because I want you to feel comfortable. So how much more would I do for somebody? Thank you. How much more would I do for somebody else off the street? I mean, if I do that for a random person, right, what I do for my husband? Go ahead.
I gotta find me a black man. Wait, what?
So let's see the comments. So listen,
How you got anything cheating like that?
I don't know why it's cheating like that, but I didn't worry about it. So I don't know. I don't know why people see. Does it bring you joy? And I'm asking, I really want to hear, does it bring you joy to see your spouse happy? Does it bring you joy to know that there was something that your spouse wanted or needed and you were able to help facilitate or find or do? Does it bring you joy just to see them smile? Like my husband, something like he might be watching something like, oh, I'm like, what's wrong? Now, that's because I don't want anything to hurt him. I can't protect him from all that stuff. But I want so much for him to be happy that when you...
about to be cool.
I told him to cut the fan. Look what he did.
Alexa, set upstairs AC to 75.
Sorry, I didn't find a group.
You know, Christopher,
C.
You didn't cut the fan on. Right now it's hot. So, okay, let me say. So they said, she said profoundly. Okay, LaShawn said, and don't get me started about serving him. I'm a chill now. Profoundly, you didn't say yes. Absolutely. Yes. Makes the atmosphere in the house peaceful. Yes, Tia. To see my spouse at peace brings me more joy than seeing your spouse happy. Right. Well, that's true. It brings me joy to be of service, period. In fact, you do it from the joy it brings others. Right. Listen, I thought I was the only one. People think that I'm crazy when I say I love to see other people happy. My husband will tell you, I'll do so much running around for other people that sometimes when people leave, like we have company, when people leave, I'd be like, I'm out. Because I done did everything I could do. I gave it all. You know what I'm saying? The chamber said that's why it's important to take your time and wait on your husband, the husband he has for you. God. Okay, so now since we're gonna talk about that, it is most definitely important because whenever you start talking about servanthood and happiness and marriage and longevity, disagreements, disappointments, expectations, you generally get people that come in here and start having extreme stuff. Oh, men ain't this and women ain't this and all of them this and all that. And you can't this and other. Listen, I know there are people have had bad marriages. I have before Cedric. I have. So no one is saying that you don't mess up or you don't make bad decisions. But what I want you to understand is that when you make a decision, say I do to whoever it is that you marry, that you're saying I do to the mess. So if you make a decision to say I do because his sex was good or she can work her hula hoop, then that's your fault when she ain't got no intellect or she has no conversation for you or she don't know how to give you peace or she doesn't know how to make a pancake or she don't know how to nurture your children or she want to be in the club every night and you want somebody at home or he don't even know how to find a job. See, the thing, hey, Sam, this is the thing. If you pick somebody based off their sex, you get a marriage that got some good sex and a raggedy marriage. But you're still married, and you still said to death do us part. Be careful, don't touch on the black because it'll bring them up. Right here. I would not even know how not to serve when I see a need. Me too. And it's funny because I often... It's part of who I am. It's part of who I am. And, but I really try to get people to understand that people don't like to talk about, okay, so my failed marriages, I said with an S, I did. My failed marriages, I picked them for some reason or another. And what I didn't realize, first of all, is I was bringing me, not realizing what it took to be married, and what it took to stay married, what it take to stay married to the marriage. But I also can't blame anybody else but me because I said I do to them. And people like to say, well, he was this, he was that. If you did some proper vetting and dating and praying, you would see that. God is not going to leave you out there. He will confirm whether that's the one you're supposed to marry. But when that thing is good and you is hunching, you don't properly vet the person because that hunch monster get you.
Not hunching.
And so, yep, me too. That's right. I chose that mess while I was a mess. That part. People don't like to talk about that. And they, you know, somebody recently was like, well, what if this and what if that? And like, there's always a what if, there's always an outlier. I mean, like when you talk about submission, people lose their mind. They're like, I submit to him if he this, or we submit to each other. That ain't Bible. The Bible talks about as Christians, we submit one to another, but it talks about wives submit to your own husband. And it say your own husband, your husband.
Right.
But that's why it's important to confirm what it is or who it is that God is telling you to marry. Because if you marry Joe Blow and Joe can't do nothing but blow, that's your problem. And people are like, oh, well, I'm going to get out. I'm just going to, I'm going to get a divorce. And I have. Thank you so much for the love, Coach D. I jumped out of the marriage because it was difficult. Here's the problem, though. What I was supposed to do is stay and pray through that. Now, my first marriage was an abusive marriage. And people like to say, well, you don't understand. I've been in an abusive marriage. I said, God, you had to give me everything so I can understand. You don't get a right to jump out the marriage because you made a bad decision. In life, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. For every action, there's either a consequence or a reward. If you make a bad decision, you get the consequence. But you know what? How you prove that you've learned, you got to stick through that test, go through it, and make it through that. But no, we jump out because it's not easy. You can't jump out because it ain't easy. And I was talking to Cedric today about people saying, well, I'll just get a divorce. And I was saying, well, Cedric, I feel bad sometimes because I did it, but I was like, at that time, I didn't really understand the totality of what that meant and the word. I've been in the church, but I didn't really understand those scriptures and stuff like that. And you can't go into something and say, I'm going to sin. Right. I'm already going to sin.
Yeah, it don't work like that. Not how it works.
I'm just talking, baby.
You are. You're doing a good job.
I know, but I would like some partnership in this one.
You keep saying partnership like I haven't said anything.
You said once every 2 blue moon. You've been your quiet night.
No, I'm trying to be still because I'm about to milk.
He hot. I know that's what it was over here. You trying to pass out.
No, I don't want to kick on. It's not cooperating.
Divorce was in my back pocket. But you know the problem, Tia, is that people, go ahead, y'all. Will y'all tap the screen for me, please? We at 3.5. We should be at least 10K by now. We low. We low. But we don't understand that marriage is not an easy task. And if you don't have the right circle of friends, they will tell you to jump ship. If you don't have the right circle of friends, they'll tell you, girl, if it was me, I wouldn't put up with that. I would get a divorce. I would. You need some godly people in your life. You need some godly people that's going to tell you, look here, I know it's rough right now, but you said to death do you part. So if you're not being physically abused, let's figure this out and let's go to God. I give you a minute to, my sister said, I give you a minute to vent and be on the floor. She called it on the floor. When things get crazy, we're like, I'm on the floor. I give you a minute to vent and be on the floor. But then we're going to get up. We're going to pray and figure out what our next steps is. What is God telling us to do? What does the word say? We don't have enough people telling the word as opposed to our feelings. Feelings ain't what we need when we going through. I know we think that's cool. You call the person you think gonna hype you up. But you don't need a hype man when you are in life or death decisions. And I say that because a lot of times we have families, but not only that, but this is the first institution that God created. So you think that it's not important for us to stay together? It most definitely is. So we have to make sure that if God put us in a place where we can love one another, yes, you're going to have problems. And again, I always tell y'all I've been divorced before because I want people to be like, oh, well, she don't understand. I done been in an abusive relationship. I done been in one that I was just like, this too much work. But we get ready to have our anniversary next week. And the first 5 years of our marriage was a living hell. When I say hell, I mean all of the hells. I don't even know how many. Is there some layers of hell? But we had all the layers.
Unfortunately, I don't think so.
Well, I think they turned the heat up.
It's one big one.
They turned the heat up for us. But you got to realize that even when they turn the heat up in your life and in your marriage, God got to see if you're going to stick through something. Because it's so many Christians that we don't have no, in my husband uses it all the time, intestinal fortitude. We ain't got no stick-to-itiveness.
There you go.
We don't have, like, if it's hard, we quit. If it's hard, we go do something else. If it's hard, that's too hard. That's too hard. That's too hard. No.
The Lord won't put that on me.
Cedric preached a sermon one time. Hold on a second. Said, but I don't know. I think God gave me a pass to let that nut go. I think he gave me a pass that time. He gave me a redo. You know what? Adjusting to my problem. Okay, so here's the thing. Cedric preached a sermon one time, and the title was very controversial. But he was talking about Gomer. And that, what was her husband's name?
I don't know.
Gomer was the wife.
Yeah.
Okay, so she had a husband and children.
She was for the streets.
She left. Cedric said she was for the streets. She left Hosea. Coach D, we need some saved folks in here, and Dr. Fraser. So she was for the streets. She left her husband and then went to somebody, and he had to go buy her back. Then they done sent off into slavery, and she just out there.
Wow.
Throwing that thing in a circle, giving to everybody but her husband, leaving the church. I mean, what if your wife was a harlot? We're going to say it that way, for the streets. And God told you, go get your wife out the strip club.
All right, go get off the strip.
Go get your wife off the street. I know she's been selling it, but go get her. See, this is the thing. We don't think about what we learned in the Bible. The Bible don't change. So we think that, like I was telling somebody, I would be, if it was my brother, I'd be like, leave that garden tool over there somewhere. God ain't tell you that. But that's the thing. We can't say what God told somebody else to do. If the Bible, if God told Hosea to go get his wife back and she done left him, been sold, been selling that, left him with the kids. Look, just think about it. If your wife left you and went and was just throwing that thing in a circle, I mean, passing out like it was a coupon. God said, go get her.
No, he ain't said that.
Y'all would say, God ain't told me that.
He ain't told me that.
All y'all would say, God ain't told me that. Tell me one person, like, oh, God told me that. I heard him. Even if you heard it, you're gonna be like, she for the streets, Lord. I don't want her back.
No, what they say now? Get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah, get somebody else to do it.
But then that's the thing, like, we don't realize that it is not an easy task to be a Christian, because what God tells us to do, his instructions don't look like our instructions. What we would say, like, really, like we would like, well, God just say, she done cheated, so I got the right to go and leave.
She done beyond cheated.
Yeah, she done beyond cheated, honey. She done threw that thing, passed that thing, gave that thing, that thing.
Like you said, throw it in the circle, throw it in the square, throw it in a rhombus.
He said throw it in a rhombus.
Rhombus.
But here's the thing. When we really trying to live for God, what he tells us to do is not going to be popular among your friends. But if you have godly counsel, which is important, which I now believe that I have a circle of godly women that's with me. But I listen, girl, listen, he kept going to get her. I'm going to get your man. I'm going down here to the juke joint, get your man.
It's your old trifling man.
Right. He kept going to get her. But when
Gutter snipe.
when you have some people around you that said, girl, that listen, I'm gonna talk in these days term, girl, that ooh, that's rough. But
You're doing the most.
if God told you, if you feel like God told you that, go get your husband. Go get your wife. That sound real far-fetched, but you have an example in the Bible, so why can't he do that now? You know, they say same God right now. Look, Coach D, talking about that's mine, I'm gonna stick beside her. Woo, Coach D, that's a rough one. You hear me? Because sticking beside somebody that I keep going to get you, clean you up, wash the behind, squash, give you a
Not the squash.
squash. I remember the Mass and Gear commercials. Squash. I keep coming to get you. The children see you back in their life, then you run away again. What is happening with you? Wouldn't that be like a
Very, very disheartening.
do you think that you'll follow God's instructions? Being honest.
Nope.
Well, I said they say nope, y'all. And he said that thing with some emphasis.
I better do that one.
Why?
Give me another one.
Torture and betrayal, right?
Nobody
Listen.
home.
You don't understand that if you're in a place of where I want my marriage to work and I want to live for you, God, when he tells you to do something, sometimes it's not meant for you to say. Just look at Noah. I always use Noah because everybody thought Noah was a straight nut. Think about right now. If you never seen rain, never, ever, and men said to go outside, and start building an ark. Now, y'all remember how big the ark was. Said to go outside and start building an ark. Ain't never seen rain. He's like, it's gonna rain. Y'all gotta get in here. Y'all not gonna make it. Y'all gonna be unalive.
What is a rain?
Right. What is rain? And they be like, oh, you tripping. And then this man did this. I forgot how many years they said it took him to build that thing.
Took a while, yeah.
But
2 years, I think.
you gotta realize, you talking about faith. You know, I read something tonight. It said faith is acting like God is telling the truth. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back. Faith is acting like God is telling the truth. Because when you really believe, like if somebody tell you, hey, you got $1,000, you got $1 million in this bank, come to the bank and get it. You go into the bank and get that $1 million, and you believe in your heart that you got $1 million because somebody at the bank from the call and told you, right? Why do we not have that same? Thank you so much, Raquel. So why we don't have that same emphasis? And I said it's emphasis, but I'm just joking around. Why we don't have that same thing with God's word? When it says, when that thing has hit me and said, faith is acting like God is telling the truth. We know he is, but we don't believe it. We say, oh yeah, God said I'm gonna get this. Yes, God. And then you start thinking in your mind, well, I can't do it like this. I don't know how it's gonna happen. And you kind of discount it because in your mind, you can't see a way. Look, Dr. Crazy, that's good. Dr. Crazy, I'm tell you something. That thing hit me like a ton of bricks when it said faith is acting like God is telling the truth. When you really believe something, if your husband or wife tell you we go on vacation, I'll be ready in an hour. You gonna pack your bags and be ready in an hour. You know why? Because you believe that they gonna tell you they take you on a trip. They wouldn't tell you that if it wasn't the case. Right. So why do we not have that same thing with the person that has created us, that gives us breath, that wakes us up every morning, that allows us to birth children, that allows us to stay married? The times when our marriage felt like it was failing came through in a way that nobody else could. Why? Why?
That's easy. Because humans are conceited, have an inflated sense of self. So all those things that you just named, I feel like it's me and my intelligence and my power is why those things got done. I don't attribute those things to God, one that I can't see and whom I never seen.
That makes sense. That's right now.
So why would I believe in someone I haven't seen And I'm the driving force behind all those things you mentioned. So I'm not giving him credit for those things. I did that.
So I also read that faith, it is not faith if you can see it, figure out how you're going to do it, or it's possible on your own.
Right.
So that's not faith. If it's something that you can do on your own, it is not faith. And it said if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, but I don't really know if y'all realize how small a mustard seed is. Somebody one day brought in a mustard seed, and I was like, that's little.
It's tiny.
It says they don't have true faith in God. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna say it again. Faith is acting like God is telling the truth. Do you believe what he said for you? Do you believe that he can restore your marriage? Do you believe that he can fix you and your past and your trauma and your triggers? Do you believe he can change all this to a godly woman?
Can he fix your future?
Can he fix your future? What do you mean by fix your future, my love?
You said fix your past. Can you fix the future? The past gone.
No, but past, who you are, your past has a. So I say that. Well, I'm explaining that because your past has a big deal. Because when you've had trauma and stuff in your past and you don't deal with it, you put newspaper. It's like putting newspaper over poop. You might master smell it, dry up, but it
smell.
No, it does after a while. Like it when it gets hard, but then as soon as it get any kind of water or moisture on it, it smells like a potpourri of poo-poo. You like that potpourri of poo-poo? Paul said smaller than a grain of rice.
I'm an expert on that. I had a puppy in my room when I was growing up.
He can clean lenses that you view life through. Listen, no, not clean them. He changes your lens. Right. See, when we have our lens is through trauma. Our lens is through heartache and hurt and disappointment, and lens through self-righteousness. Our lens is different. But when you put on his lens, it is, I can do all things through Christ to strengthen me. You know, I'm the head and not the tail. You know that my marriage is fearfully and wonderfully made, that God has kept me and he will continue to keep me. You know, those type of things is what's important. When you change from your lens, and we come with a filtered lens, our lens is not one of Christ. When we get a lens, it is, I'm telling you, it is your upbringing. Your daddy wasn't there. Your mama wasn't there. Your mama was on drugs. Your daddy was on drugs. You know, this person touched you inappropriately. This person did this. And all of those things are wrong and could be traumatizing. However, at some point, you must turn from victim to victor, or you'll be permanently stuck in the victim role. And listen, no one wants to be around the victim. I heard somebody say the other day, people don't want to change because being a victim gets attention. Right. See, now, when you have issues, I'm here for you, you know, talking about your issues and getting help for them. But we're not going to talk about them and not move forward. We talk about them, we pray about them, we ask God to help us, but we're moving forward. We can talk about it and cry, but now where are we going? What are we doing? Because we stay in victim mentality. I can't be connected to victim forever. And this ain't got nothing to do with you. Where God has taken me, I can't be connected to victim. So I've had all those essays and miscarriages and failed marriages and abuse. I've had all of that stuff myself. And I have the right as a human to sit back and tell all the stuff and all the wrong people done me and how people mistreated me and blah, 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 blah. And it's all right. But you know who that's affecting? Me.
And me.
He said, and him. Stand up at night.
And your family.
And your family. Stand up at night. Being depressed. Being sad. Not being a cheerful person. Nobody want to be around a party pooper.
Grumpy gut.
You ever be in a room and everybody's laughing, having a good time, and somebody come in there and be like, look like Linus, like, whoa, hey, Pooh. Eeyore, I'm sorry. I said, you don't want somebody to come in the room and everybody's having a good time and they look like like they said,
Grumpy Gus.
yeah, if I was at Eeyore, you gotta realize that at some point in your life, you gotta want change. You gotta be better. And this ain't nothing nobody, people, they kid with this, drive me crazy. They go to church, they get a sermon. Some of y'all shout and run, roll, speak in tongues, kuna matata, everything. Okay. Feel good. And you come home and have the same behaviors. If you are doing the same thing, expecting a different result, what is that, Cedric?
Insanity.
It's the very definition of insanity. Now, you ain't even got to go and do this. This ain't even no Bible definition. This is Webster.
That's Webster.
Insanity. So if you are dealing with certain things and you want something to change, you got to do something different. What do you need to change? Not saying that your life has not been hell. I've heard some people's stories, and oh my goodness, they will cause you to be like, what kind of parents did you have? Or what kind of family did you have? Or you were in foster system, the court failed you. And then, you know, like you think about all that stuff. But when you know the greatest revenge, although we're not out for revenge, but the greatest revenge or reward is success. Coming back, being a healed person, seeing that person that has wronged you, hugging them, praying for them, loving them. Let me tell you something. I had it happen to me. Somebody that caused me great pain. And when I saw them, it was a long time now. It took some healing, don't get me wrong. But I saw them when I didn't know I was going to see them. And when I tell you I was able to love them and pray for them from a genuine place, that's how I know that God is a healer of a broken heart. Because nobody else could have did that. Because Cedric was like, why are you expecting anything from them? That's how people are. Because he is more of a like, he says he doesn't have expectations from people.
Wet your whistle. Wet your whistle. You're choking.
He's so extra.
Throw a little dry. Get a little moisture.
He doesn't have expectations for people. So he said people can't disappoint him. Well, I'm not that person. I love hard. I love big. I love a lot. And that comes with some heartache. But what I've learned to have is some uncomfortable conversations. Hey, when you do this, it makes me feel like this. That's in friendships and relationships. Call a spade a spade. And we may see saying things differently, but I need you to know for me, these are my boundaries. These are my limitations. And if you're going to continue to hurt me in this area, then we can't continue. I'm not mad at you, but we can't continue to be in a small circle. You got to understand that who you're connected to is powerful. Look at your friends. Look at who you call when you got a problem. Are they all ratchet? Are they all people that's in the club? As old that you got dope boys? What you got on your circle? Who you call? Not Ghostbusters. Who you call when you getting in trouble? Who is your circle?
That's what I'm about to call.
What?
Ghostbusters.
Why?
All my friends are alive.
Oh Jesus, he's so silly. Okay, I'm saying she said, all right. My assistant pastor said you do want to be better or be made whole, right?
Oh, go back one. What did I say?
My husband, my neighbor, right?
They
say, hey, Lisa. But you got to realize that at some point in time, you have to realize that you want something different from your life. And I know we've been talking about in the context of marriage, but you got to realize that's in friendships and relationships. I want better. I want to be better. Right. And I can't be stuck. And I keep saying this because I see if you go through these lives, just go to scrolling through lives. Everybody like this person hurt me, that person hurt me. You know, you can't trust men, you can't trust women. Women this, my baby mama this, my baby that. How about some of that stuff might be your fault? First of all, who you connected to is your fault. You connected to them. Right. Secondly, you know, my husband always say, you don't live in a vacuum. How you treat people, how you talk to people, how you react to people, right. How you respond to stuff is like people say, like me, like to say, I match energy. Now, I'm not a big fan of that, but people do. Yes. If Coach D come and say, hey, Black Love, and I'd be like, what? Oh, she tripping.
Right.
And then he might be like, what's wrong with you? I be like, ain't nothing wrong with me. What's wrong with you? Well, I ain't talking to him. And he's like, I'm not gonna talk to him, or he gonna give me an attitude, and then he gonna move different than me. Tia come in here and be like, hey, she always say, hey, sister. I'm like, what?
Not the mm-hmm.
Then you can be like, well, what is wrong with this girl? Because people respond to how you act. That's why when it say the joy of the Lord is my strength, you know, like, it's, what is the scripture I can't think about? It's one about, my mind has gone blank. But when I tell you, what's on the inside of you will come out. If Christ is on the inside of you, that's gonna come out. If hell is on the inside of you, that's what's gonna come out.
So that's like whatever's in a man's heart, so shall he speak, or something like that.
Yeah, whatever man can think is so.
No, whatever man think is so is he. That's a different one.
Same thing though.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. Yes, Coach D, I'm gonna go say something about. I need some say.
From the
Hey,
abundance of the heart,
look at you.
the mouth will speak.
Woo, child, I've been full. I've been Bible studying it up. So I'm gonna just tell you something. That's right. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. You can't tell me you've been laying out before the Lord, spending time with the Lord, and then when somebody call you, cuss them out. Oh, it's Justin that wrote that. Thank you, Justin. You can't tell me that you love your spouse and you talk dirty to him. And I ain't talking about sexually dirty. I'm talking about talk stank to him.
Well, the cousin thing, if you Southern Baptist,
He talking about the cousin thing. If you Southern Baptist, that's different. I'm saying who you are. Oh Lord, you see your child. Who you are as a person, Shanice, you are silly. Who you are as a person comes out in how you treat people. People want to know, and you know, another thing is that people see that you change based upon who you're around.
Yeah, that's the worst. I hate that. I
don't like that, and we see that a lot, because we're in the church world.
Them chameleons.
And some people, you see them someplace, they just as ratchet. Some people, they be like, bless the Lord, oh my soul.
No, but this is what gets me. You know, we go to a lot of those type situations. And the people there would be looking at us crazy. And then when they see that we know some of the other bishops and things, then they change the way they
okay,
feel.
so we have to clarify. So what he says that sometimes we'll go, so my dad's a pastor, but I've been in these church circuits, you know, for a long time. And when you go to certain functions, you're invited by somebody and you got bishops and, you know, apostles and evangelists and whoever else, everybody there. So they looking at us crazy because y'all know what you see is what you get regular with me. I'm the same. I don't care where you at. If I'm hey girl, wherever. You hear me? Like, I respect your role. Don't get me wrong. But we at dinner, we just having a good time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna start off with good evening, Bishop Apostle Emmanuel. No, player. I ain't doing all that. I'm not.
Me neither.
So a lot of times we'll go in circles, and when we come around, people looking at us like, oh, y'all not
who invited these fools?
Who invited, or they're kind of like, who are you? What's your title? They don't say it, but they may ask somebody else. But and you know, we acting silly like we always do, laughing and joking. Mm-hmm. But then, and it's funny because you see them trying not to laugh. They're like, you know, because we just acting silly all the time. Because laughter does a heart good like a medicine. The Bible tells you that. Laugh. Y'all be looking like somebody put in y'all face all the time. Laugh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go put it, but I did. So we at this place, and then when somebody, when some more dignitaries come in and all of them know us,
they talking to us
and talking to us, they like, oh, a lot of people know them.
Right. Who them people?
Right, like then they trying to figure out who we are. That all the dignitaries know us. Then now you want to talk. I understand for y'all. See, this is the thing. Ministry is not about a title. Real ministry is not about a title. First of all, as Christians, we minister to everybody daily. We should. We do. Your life ministers whether you want to or not.
Right.
As Christians, baby, let me tell you,
People watching.
People watching you. People have told me and Cedric what we doing day in, day out. Like, like it ain't nobody business. I be thinking, hey, dog, you know more about what I'm doing than what I did.
Right.
I remember one time years ago, I was like telling somebody something. I was at a salon and I was telling this girl I grew up with something. And I was like, I came on Monday, I did. And some girl from the salon said, oh, you and your husband went to dinner, then y'all went to the movies. I said, oh. I asked the girl, I said, what's her name again? Delete. Now I wasn't being funny because she was on my personal page. And you know, I was at that time I let her be my friend because she was on my Facebook friends because she was friends with this person, that work person I knew. But when you watching you can tell me my itinerary, that's a problem. Yeah. Hey, Fit.
You put it on there.
I didn't know you was gonna give me a blow by blow.
Yeah, you put it on there.
So here's the thing, right? Your life, hey Fit, miss you, girl. Your life should represent Christ at all times. I'm not a fan of the big names that are so holier than thou. You say, how you doing, Cedric?
I'm doing good. How are you?
The holier thou ones that you can't even have a conversation. Because what gets under Cedric and I's skin is that why did you have to know that we knew everybody else here, or that everybody knew us? Because people come up to us, hey y'all, they know even. Hey, why do you have to know we know all these other people in order to?
For you to like you guys
because as a Christian, we're ministering. So what if we were unsaved? What if we were somebody's cousin or somebody we knew? Whatever the case may be, you got to know that I know everybody else in order to be nice to me. And they be stank. They be, you know. That they be up so high, I be like, need to pull them chin hairs. Look, I be like, just pull them chin hairs.
What are you smelling up there?
I know, listen, but it can't be, thank you. It can't be that right nose in the clouds.
Straight in the clouds.
But that, and I think that's probably my biggest pet peeve, because really, when I tell you I am almost 50, Lisa's birthday. Y'all tell Lisa happy birthday. Her birthday is Monday.
Happy birthday.
And I can't remember the date again. I think it's the 26th. The 22nd, what is it?
I don't know.
Lisa's birthday is Monday, so y'all tell Lisa happy birthday. But
22nd.
You got to realize that you can't be so holy that you can't be around the common folk.
Right.
Didn't Jesus eat with them?
All the time.
Like, and I'm not even talking about them, you inviting them. I'm not even talking about you inviting them to your house. Right. But if you're at a function and they're there, right. I've had people that's come at me and said, I never know a minister to have so much fun and laugh and make me feel comfortable and not call me out for whatever. That's the thing. People know most people have been in church. They know their behavior. Mm-hmm. They know it. They know they living raggedy if they are. Mm-hmm. So why do I have to say, they ain't right with Christ? They know what I stand for. They know I believe in. Y'all know I ain't never been quiet about loving Jesus and what he means to me and how I operate. However, you don't have to, hey, Juju, you don't have to be a butthead, because there's not a spiritual butthead. The Bible says, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. So if you mean to them, if Cedric and I were not believers, then I mean, it's first ladies that we see and they look at me and look, now they know us because we got some of the same circle people, and they look and won't speak. Like, girl.
They know us because we've been on program with them. We've done a function at their church.
Listen, like, but here's the thing. You look at me in my face and then you keep looking back. You get like, here's the thing you're missing. That is everything contradictory to the love of Christ. Now I know some people from different places in New York and all the places that they don't speak to people. I get it. That's y'all thing. And somebody told me, When you're in New York, you can't speak. We were walking out. I was saying, hey, and people speaking back to me. I believe it's just part. People know it's who you are, or when people like, hey, that's different. But when I was in New York, I was speaking to everybody, and they spoke back to me. We were going to Sylvia. You weren't there at that time. That's why I went with went to something, I think, for Brooke at the time. My dad and mama always went.
You're having a good time without me.
And I'm speaking to people, and people speak back. So I'm not saying you have to do that, but what I'm saying is that when did we get so saved that we can't speak to the average person?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, say hey. It's okay to say hello. It's okay to be friendly. Actually, the Bible tells us to. I'm just gonna say that.
To be kind to your neighbor.
And if you're not, then you out of line. You out of pocket. You ain't in God's will. I'm gonna say that. How about that? And what you gonna do about it?
Get back in my pocket.
But you gotta realize that you can't be so saved and so holy and so I don't even know. Jesus, it's just so many people that are living this
Self-absorbed.
When you get to a place where your titles dictate who you speak to, you are out of line with the body of with the word of God. I don't care your title, your name. I don't care if you're bishop, apostle, evangelist, servant of the Most High. I don't know. They got a bunch of titles now. I don't care what your title is. If you are so titled that you can't speak to the average person, then there's a problem with that. That is contrary to the word of God, and you are out of line. You're actually sinning. So get your life together. I'm just gonna put that out in the street because I'm just so sick of all these super saved people.
You are not that important.
You are not that important.
No.
I needed to throw that out there because it's very frustrating to me, and we've seen it happen so many times. And sometimes I'll be like, "Well, hey, hey." You done looked at me 10 times in my face. I was gonna see if this time, out of 25,000 times, you was gonna speak.
Nope.
And it's so funny because me and Sarah like, you see us old girl, you see us old boy, they won't say a bumblebee thing.
Yeah, just looking crazy.
When I say looking crazy. And so I'm not here to. We talked about, are you working on you? Are you a better version of you? But that is for all of us. In our relationships and our marriages. Stop blaming everybody else and get you together. I do have things that I won't allow in my circle anymore. My circle is real small and just starting to get to the place where I can say, hey, look, me and my good friend had a little disagreement and it didn't last 5 minutes. Because here's the thing. We had a disagreement. And because we both serve God and we didn't do this whole, well, I'm saved, don't touch not my anointed and do this prophet no harm. Instead of doing that, Lord, I love my friend. Show me what I could have done differently. Show me how I can express to them how I feel. And he brought it back. He spoke to both of us. But you got to be in an open posture. You can't be, I'm healed, I'm done, I'm the best, I'm the savior, I've arrived. No. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Some of us are still raggedy. Let's just talk about that. Lisa, some people are saying happy birthday on Facebook too. Tanja, my sister is. We should be trying to be better every day. Sometimes people don't know if you are approachable. Some people act different in person. Small is good. I agree. I know. But see, Rodney, that doesn't matter. When I come into a room, you know, Rodney, you've seen me come into a room. And it's a room full of y'all that I don't know. Hey, how you doing? Hey, girl. You know, just whatever I can do, whatever end I can. Lisa says, thank y'all for the happy birthday. Whatever end I can go in order to say, like to open the door, I do that. Approachable, now Cedric might have a mean mug. He do sometimes, right? Frequently. I pray we work on him. When you walk in the room, you be looking like him.
That's me.
You be looking like this? Yeah, because people don't know if you. Rodney said people don't know if you're approachable.
I'm approachable.
I told you to start smiling.
No mess.
He said I'm approachable. Just don't approach me with no mess. Help him, Lord. Please, okay. Don't be so heavily bound that you are no earthly good. Absolutely. But I'm just saying, and I used to have the right.
What's the RB?
The rest can be at
Oh.
Cedric lives there. He lives there.
Whatever.
Live there. I'm gonna say that again.
I'm a
He
very jovial person.
He will laugh once you start, but he come in the room and I be like, baby, you already big and black. They just afraid.
Be very afraid.
And I dip in, I'll still. Oh God, Lisa, do better. But so here's the thing I want to say, and it's of course, just get your work on you. Don't try to fix nobody else. Work on you and your raggedy life. And I say raggedy because we all got stuff we need to fix. Don't tell people. You know, there was thing we did a conference one time and it said issues mean it's you. It's you.
Right.
No one has arrived where everything is fixed in their life. I got areas. I'm sure if you ask Cedric, he can go and give you a list. Now, if you ask me a list of the things, look where the Lord brought me from, he can give you a list of those too. But the thing about it is that your progress should be going forward.
My list short, baby.
My list short. Like one thing short.
I say that now. Like maybe 3 or 5.
3 or 5.
A 12.
Come on, y'all need to get 10K. Come on, I need at least get 10K over here on TikTok. Come on, give me the 10K. That boy said 3 or 5 or 12. Y'all do something with Cedric.
21,
Wait a minute, 21. You went. He done said my list short. He said 3, 5, 12, and 21. Which one is it, y'all?
Factors of 3, I guess.
3, 5, 12, and 21. Which one is it?
3, 5, 7.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, if anybody have anything they want to say, because I'm gonna let Cedric go. You know, he been a silent partner tonight. I'm gonna show it back to him so we can count. We gonna count how many statements he made. He made one.
I made more than enough.
But
you were flowing. I didn't want to interrupt. You were vibing so good.
But if your pastor be stank to people he don't know, talk to him. Oh, I forgot they don't. They hold him on this pedestal that you can't even have a conversation with your pastor. I thank God for my pastor. I can have a conversation.
She did, honey.
Yeah, but everybody still can't talk. Like Mia says she can't talk to her dad.
Who?
Mia. So she can't.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so everybody can't talk to her
but
dad.
she's still young though. So when she get older, she'll be able to. You know what I'm saying?
And here's another thing. If y'all anybody want to come up real quick, we can have some conversation. Mia, you still in the room?
Come on in the room.
If you're in, you want to join this conversation for a few minutes, come on in, say something.
Song and you don't get in there.
I already saw my song. I ain't saying again.
No,
Come on in
I
the room.
was getting your denture.
Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor. He writes out all of my scriptures. Come on, say it. He brings all of my medicine in the room. It's in the room. In the room. Whatever you need. In the room. In the room. And look, Lisa in the room, right. Come on, somebody, y'all join us for a few minutes. I'm gonna let Cedric live. I'm gonna give y'all about